I am all over the place.
I say, but you have something going on after this, right?
Yes, I'm at a screening at CAA. It's Creative Artists. It's where my daughter works, but a lot of the screenings for the Oscars leading up to the awards is happening right now.
Ah,
And so I'm here. I like to come through because a lot of the actors come and I know a lot of them. So I like to come in and mingle with them, see what's happening, meet other producers. And
okay.
that's also a connection of learning and them getting to see me and see
Yeah.
my academy and see me as a department head. So I'm blessed to be able to have that opportunity.
All right, cool. All right, look, y'all, look, we got some things going on here. So, welcome everyone to your live Instagram. Today we're starting out with Rhonda O'Neill. Rhonda's going to make it to Houston
Yes.
to participate in the show, which is October 5th through the 7th. So if you haven't gotten your tickets, you need to get your tickets. And Rhonda is also doing an in-depth session, and she's going to tell us about that toward the end. But get your tickets, beautyounderoneroof.com. Uh, get them because a lot of things are happening there. Like I said, Miss Rhonda's going to help you learn how to navigate that space of film and production. So, yeah, here she's right now where where the action is actually
Where
happening.
all
Okay.
the action is happening. All the action. This is my daughter's boss's room, so office.
Okay, so I'm not the. What does your daughter do?
She's an assistant in the marketing department over here at the Creative Art Agents Artist Agency, and she
Okay,
works with all the screening, all the actors, and it's a fun job. She
okay,
enjoys it.
cool. So I'm gonna ask you a couple of questions. So how'd you first get started in hairstyling? What did you always know you would be a hairstylist or?
No, actually, hello there. Um,
Hey.
I did get your questions, and I'm gonna try to. I didn't get to go over them much, but
That's okay.
I'm
We
gonna.
don't have to do that. You just requested
No,
them. So
I want
normally I
them.
shoot from the hip, but
No,
look.
I wanted them. That was good. How did I start? I actually went to high school for engineering over at Booker T, Washington.
Ah, my
And
daughter
I,
graduated from there.
oh, she graduated from there. I didn't. We moved to Missouri City area, so I graduated from Dulles. But
Okay.
um, I wanted to be an architect first. But my mom said, learn a trade first and
Wow.
then go to school and go off to college. And she was a hairstylist. My mom was a hairstylist. Actually, I was in her belly when she had her boards, when she took her boards. I came out with perfect finger waves on my head. She she said. So I guess I was destined to
Yeah.
be a hairstylist. Um, Later on, my mom fell sick. She had her salon over on South Post Oak, uh, and I managed it. I was probably about 18 when I was managing it for her while she was
Mhm.
sick, and I started to like it.
Okay.
And after that, I said I want to go to beauty school, and I went to Franklin Beauty School with Miss Bolts, if anybody knows her.
I
That's who.
remember Miss Bo.
Yes, and I'm so grateful for her, and I'm grateful for my mom who taught me hair care. Not only did she teach me hair care, but she taught me to learn everyone's hair. At that time, she was also she was the colorist at a salon in River Oaks. So she worked in the back of the salon, and people
Yes.
thought that they were getting their hair colored by other people, but she was actually their colorist. So that was one of the things she really told me to do back in the early 80s, to learn everyone's hair, and which I I did. And so after that, um, she closed her salon, and I opened a salon. I opened the first black salon on 2234 Hair Masters. And for 10 years, I was there, and I had about 12 hairstylists at the time, and almost all of them stayed with me the entire time except for one. She had to go back to New York. That's
Yeah.
something also I teach and I mentor people on how to keep your stylist. And from there, I learned so many different things. Um, Being in Houston, I did things that equipped me and got me prepared for working here in Los Angeles, and I didn't even know that, which I'm grateful for.
I say God has an interesting way of doing things, huh?
Yes, he does. Yes, he does. So when I wrote my book, Beyond the Combs, A Celebrity Hairstylist Guide to Success, which is on Amazon if anybody wants to get it. But I'll actually have the QR code at the
Mhm.
show also so that you can pick it up. But it's my journey from Houston to Hollywood, and Hollywood is is everywhere now. So we're all um, you anybody can do hair in this industry because it is everywhere, and that's what I'll be talking about more.
Okay. So what made you leave Houston? What was the determining factor that you would leave Houston and go to LA? What
Got
how'd that
married,
come about?
had a baby, and got
I,
married. My ex-husband. We have three wonderful kids, and now I have a grandbaby. Uh, but he went to UCLA undergrad. He's from Mississippi, but he went to UCLA undergrad. And then I met him in his last year at Thurgood Marshall School of Law, and he wanted to make Los Angeles his home. That was just no question. And so when I got pregnant, that's how I ended up in
yeah,
LA.
it's just a natural transition of things, right?
Yes. Yes.
And thank God for it. Look what you're doing now. And so it was
Yes,
probably all a part of His plan. Yeah.
and you said it right. It's, part of God's plan. I enjoy Los Angeles. Some people say, "Oh my God, it's so high," but even when I go back to HEB, some of the prices there are more expensive than some of the things here. So it sometimes balances out to me. I know the real estate is high, but if you can
Yeah.
afford real estate, you can survive here.
Yeah. Okay. So what's the most challenging part about dealing with these high profile celebrity clients? What's the most challenging issue you have?
Um, you know, a lot of people think that, oh, people like Denzel Washington or Angela Bassett or um, Kerry Washington, Meryl Streep, that they would think that those are our challenging actors, but they
Right.
really aren't. They are very seasoned, very mature. They've been in the game a long time. So they're like our brothers and sisters. So there's nothing about
Okay.
them really. They're one or two. But the challenging part are the new ones that come up that you all don't know. Y'all don't know them. You probably won't ever know them.
Oh.
As they come in, they come in a different way. They're like, I want, fix my hair this way or fix my hair. And that's not all of them, but the younger ones are the ones that are a little more challenging because I feel that they're a little more nervous.
Mm.
And they're a little afraid of how they're going to look on television. So they come with already knowing some things, which is fine, but it's a little more challenging because we have to, kind of acquiesce to what they want, and then we have to come back after the director had wanted my idea, but they wanted to put their idea in, and now we have to go back and get that part together. But
Okay.
overall, it's all fun. It's still
Yeah.
really a fun
Yeah.
job.
And I'm sure at this point of the game, you kind of figured out how to navigate that. You probably say like, okay, yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yes, we yes indeed. And that's what it boils down to, our expertise and our experience of how to deal with them, because it is there a lot of them are a little nervous about their part being on set on
Yeah. Okay.
screen.
Yeah. So what? So in your arsenal, in your kit, what are three must-haves? What do you have to have, or what's your favorite
Oh,
product
on
or tool? Uh-huh.
on one thing you do have to have is um a very good chair.
Mm.
Um, when I say a good chair, a lot of time we take campers chairs with the little tables on them, but make sure that it's extremely light because you
Okay.
have to go around so much on that chair within 10 to 12 hours all day. And that's how people have back problems
Mm.
because you're taking your bag, you're taking your chair everywhere you go, everywhere you go. And you have to do it quickly.
Okay.
So that's one thing.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing is um, always have a good, um, the best combs, not just one. You try to have the best combs. When I say a comb, it's because you never know. I don't use a lot of tools, but I guess I'm speaking of in the trailer. That's in
Okay.
the trailer. I'm
Okay.
sorry. In the trailer. Have really good comb. Have a really good comb for what you may need it for teasing.
Mm.
You may need it for styling.
Okay.
Um, and combs can run a lot of money if you
If you
get
get
the
good
right
ones. Yeah. 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 And I'm assuming sometimes they walk away.
Yes, indeed, indeed.
I'm assuming they grow legs. So you how long have you been in California in LA doing this? About how
I've
many
been in LA
years?
since 1990,
Okay.
and I moved here in 1990, and I started working with a young man. Uh, Mind you, I sold my salon. I moved here, and I started working with a young man that was maybe 10 years younger than me. But
Okay.
he used to do so many people. He did everybody that came on at that time, Arsenio Hall show.
Mm-hmm.
He did so many of those people. He did almost all of Different World. Um, and I didn't feel like, oh, I was because I was older and I had a salon that I should uh, be telling him what to do.
Okay.
It doesn't work that way. In this business, you may be the boss today, but tomorrow you may not be.
Mm.
You have to, because there's so many things that you can learn from people, no matter who they are. And at that time, the Flatiron had just come out. It hadn't
Mm-hmm.
come to Houston yet. It was in LA.
Okay.
And he taught me how to flat iron, and he taught me how do to use the blow dryer correctly for here. So what I wanted to do more so was to learn California way of doing hair. Just because I did hair,
Mm.
I don't live in LA. I don't live in Houston anymore.
Right.
So now I need to learn how how hair works out here. And with that, I was able to put both of them together, and that's what made me
Uh,
um, employable, be able to have jobs in on set is because I was able to put Texas hair and California hair together.
okay. So there was a difference in the techniques or just the finished products? What was the difference other than I guess you just said they were using a flat iron and we hadn't quite
Well,
gotten there.
the weather is different. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
the
Because
weather
they
is
tell
different
the
here. I mean,
humidity.
in Houston, you have to
Right.
have more
There's more
product.
moisture.
Yeah, more product to keep the hair um, move straight.
Right.
Uh, if out here, you don't need as much to
Right.
keep the hair.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
dry.
That makes
Isn't it pretty dry out there? There's not much humidity.
Right. It's not that much humidity at all. And the way in which we um, the products that we use. You need a little heavier product to keep hair uh, straight and styled in Houston,
Mm.
opposed to here. So
Yeah.
that makes a big difference. Our hair is a little more movable
Mm.
out here. I know that more people are doing it out in Texas, but before, no, it wasn't like that. For example, um, round brushing is done on black hair here a lot.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah,
Yeah.
it's just that the hair is straighter here opposed to curly
Okay.
setting hair. But
Okay.
I still love to set when I can. I still
Okay.
do relaxers when I can.
Okay. All right. Cool. That's good to know. We're going to talk about that look at the show, relaxers and what's going on with that now. So that's a whole different
Yeah,
conversation.
yeah.
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 Yeah. I had
Yeah.
an experience back in 1985 working with not Elasta, Elente,
Hmm.
Omar.
Oh
Elente,
yes.
yeah, I worked with them and we did a show out there in LA and in Oakland. And back then in 85, there was hardly any relaxers. And me, I was green. So I had my pressing combs with me, and that's what kind of saved the show because back in 85, because I know about the round brushing, but in 85 they weren't doing relaxers.
No.
They don't do a lot of
And
relaxers,
they
so
still
they still
don't.
don't.
They still
Okay.
don't. And I feel that, I mean, that's why I'm so grateful to learn hair care under my mom because all this is talking about suing people for relaxers. I feel that the relaxers were the box perms that people were putting on.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you can, it's a chemical, just like people wear color, been wearing it all their lives and fine
Exactly.
with it. It's the same thing. So
Hmm.
if you know how to take care of hair, you're fine.
You'll
But
be
get
fine.
it done professionally. And I think
That-
that's
yeah,
a lot of the problem.
I think so too. I think so too. So you have Beyond the Comb Academy.
Yes.
Tell us why did you start that and what is it?
Well, Beyond the Combs Academy, I that's my baby. That's my safe space. Um, I was the haircraft president of Local 706, and that meant that I either educated all the hairstylists in Hollywood or I brought education to them. And I realized that I wanted it to be people to learn, more people to learn what we were doing and the mistakes that we were making
Mm-hmm.
in Hollywood. The more textured hair people needed to know about Hollywood so that they can properly get themselves prepared and ready to work if they did get a call. The darker complexion makeup artists needed to learn. So I always wanted to bring the old hands, as I call them, the people that started this all, that created Hollywood, that helped us to be molded. Because in Hollywood, we're the trendsetters, and I wanted the people because I knew a lot of the people that were retired. I wanted them to um,
Mm-hmm.
be able to help us to
Yeah,
pass the torch.
because they'll say that knowledge that they have.
Yes, and don't just bury it because when we're here as a hairstylist not working, when we're retired, that's it for us. But
Okay.
we have so many people that worked on so many sets, and people needed to hear these things. They
Hmm.
needed to hear how each how it how they got to where they are, so that we can teach them and teach the newcomers coming.
Awesome.
And so that was a lot of it. And then the other part was how teaching how to do hair on set, how to read a script.
Hmm.
Many people didn't teach us that coming up. So I wanted to have a place for us to be able to learn that.
Okay.
One of my wonderful instructors that I have that I love so dear, Robert Stevenson. He's the first African American male hairstylist to enter into the union. He's one of my instructors, and that was in 1969. He did his last 20 years with Samuel L. Jackson, and we're actually honoring him this Sunday at my academy for one of our mixers that we're having. He doesn't know, but Margaret Avery is also going to surprise him, and KTLA, the morning show, is going to come out. Um, but one of the things, and Charlena, that's going to be there with us in Houston. She's also one of my instructors, and but that's one of the things that I really wanted to teach continual education, as well as teaching people how to braid, how to weave, how to um, silk press, hair care. All of that is taught under the roof of Beyond the Combs, because it's like getting a degree. People, you can't just think that you're going to get a job just because you graduated after 4 years. Many people go on to do more. Um, and also, I have a staffing agency which helps um, put people on different jobs there too.
Yeah. So, and the industry here in Houston is kind of moving a little bit more aggressively too, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
So, you guys, you hairstylists who are on this line, if you are looking to understand what it takes to be in that industry or to do that transition, or even just to have the knowledge in case something happens, in case something presents itself to you, you need to sign up for Rhonda's class, because she's going to give you that firsthand knowledge on what that actually is, and what it takes to transition. Because doing hair, so let me ask you this. So is there a large difference between doing hair behind the chair and doing hair on set?
It is, I department head a lot of shows
Hmm.
and a lot of movies, and I I need the right team to work with me, because you never know, you may need to put out a hairstyle in 20 minutes that normally would take you an hour to do. So you have to learn the technique that it takes. You need to learn products that it
Hmm.
takes to move
Okay.
these hairstyles quickly. And yeah, it's different. A lot of times people think that because you've worked on in a
So,
salon for 25 years, that make me as a department head want to hire you, but it kind of scares me away. And a lot of people don't realize that we're set in our ways.
mhm.
So it's harder to teach sometimes when you are used to doing things a certain way.
Okay, yeah, because yeah, those are habits that you have. Just
Yes,
naturally, you kind of do things, and that may not work. Like you said, if you got to do it in 20 minutes, 15, 20 minutes, and you're used to an hour, that's a whole different mindset and process of how things have to happen.
right.
That's awesome. Yeah, okay. So tell us what we can expect in the class in Houston on
Um,
the center.
in
Yeah.
the class in Houston, I'm going to bring some visuals. I'm going to bring some call sheets first to break down, and I'm going to bring um, some hair looks that you could possibly need to learn to do on sets, especially period hair. So I'm going to bring some wig looks that we teach on at Beyond the Combs Academy, and that I can kind of demonstrate some tools for you that are needed to have in your arsenal. A teasing comb is really important. A teasing brush
Yeah.
is important.
I
Those are
haven't seen
the
any of
other.
those in a while.
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's that, so those are the things, as well as how to transition from behind the chair. That's so important, because there's so many things that we can do besides standing behind the chair, especially when you once you've been doing it for so long,
Mhm.
what else you can do to make money. And there are so many other things that you can do. And that's what I'm going to be teaching.
Okay.
I'm going to be teaching, talking about on the panel, but in the class as well,
Yeah.
breaking down call sheets and
Yeah.
teaching you how to work with the department head, because there are projects in Houston, in the Austin area. 1823, I know, is there right now. Um, a couple of BET shows I know were just there. And yes, indeed. Hey, Miss Shirleyna is on. Yeah,
Yeah.
I do mentorship as well. A lot of people come from all over the United States and mentor with me one on
Yeah.
one.
We
Uh
have one of our citywide members that's attending some of your things.
yes, Miss
Yeah.
Kathy.
Kathy. Yeah.
Yes, Kathy's
Hmm.
coming. She's flying in. I have people from all over the country, Canada and London, come to Beyond the Combs Academy to learn, and it's truly worth it. There are so many things that you can learn so that you can move forward and level up to become an entertainment industry in artists, instead of just working on sets on films and
Mm.
TV. There are other things you can do as well.
Okay. All right. So before you go, drop us a few names or of movies or things that you have worked on or sets that you've worked on.
You know, I I personally love working with the men.
I can
I love
understand
working with ladies.
that.
I'll tell you, the way that I got into this industry was through Sean Robinson, Access Hollywood.
Okay.
Garcelle, if you all know Garcelle Bouvet,
Yeah.
she's the she brought me. I used to do her hair, and she recommended Sean Robinson, Access Hollywood, the field reporter for Access Hollywood, and I did her for 8 years.
Hmm.
I did every award show, Oscars, Grammys, BET Awards, SAG, and that's how I basically got in. And I learned, and I met almost everybody that's in this industry through her, which was wonderful. But one of the shows that I really adored was Comedy Get Down, was on BET. The ensemble cast was the most superb cast that I'd ever worked with. They were always on time.
Hmm.
George Lopez, Cedric the Entertainer, Eddie Griffin, Charlie Murphy. Um,
Wow.
DL Hughley, they were running in there always on time. I used to color Cedric's hair every 10 days, George Lopez every 10 days. I had a barber, but I'd cut George and sometimes Cedric. They were such wonderful people. I did Nightmare on Elm Street with what's the man, the scary man. Well, on that show, uh I love scary movies, and they would say hair, and I would be standing there as if
You
that
were.
was the real movie. I mean, I'm serious. I would just sit there, and I'm like, Rhonda. They were like, Rhonda, come on, go over there and do the hair. I'm like, oh, okay. It looks so believable, even to me. And it was great. But I've worked with pirates. I've worked with I didn't work in the trailer with Pirates of the Caribbean, but uh what's his name? The main guy, he was always with us all. It was such a wonderful job. I did Brooklyn Nine-Nine with my wonderful friend Andre Brower, who's passed away.
Mm.
But he was my buddy, and I'm gonna throw a little money out there. I used to do him on the side 3 times a week after I moved on to another show, onto Blackish. But I used to cut him for 8 minutes, and I'd get paid $300 3 times a week.
Wow.
So
Okay.
that's that was just what production would pay you.
Uh-huh.
Um, and so I would get $900 just for 24 hours, 24 minutes a week. So I
Wow.
mean, and,
That,
and some that's why it's worth it working on sets
yeah.
in so many ways. but one of my best people that I did was Condoleezza Rice. 6 weeks out of office, I did her hair for three years.
Awesome.
And one of the reasons why I was able to keep her was because I round brush, because that's the way she used to wear
Ah,
her hair.
okay. And somehow I thought she was round brushing just by the
The shape
fullness of her hair,
of it.
the
Yeah,
shape of it.
it was a black guy doing it in DC, and I round brushed it for when she'd come into town.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, that was one of my favorite. I can't even. It's just been so many.
Okay.
It's been such a. It was Morris Chestnut. Loved working with him on Freddy Krueger. Yes, that's right, Freddy Krueger. Um, Morris Chestnut. We did Rosewood together.
Okay.
I did worked with him on there. Um, but I worked a lot in on white shows too, because that I was one of those that they needed to hire because they didn't have anybody.
Okay.
Um,
And,
one of
and
us,
you had the skill set. You positioned yourself
yeah,
so that you
wait,
had
a
the
long
skill
time ago.
set. Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
and that's what we really have to do. We have to position ourselves. You said the right word.
Mm-hmm.
We have to position ourselves in order to get the work,
Yeah,
get the right
yeah,
work,
right.
get good work. I just finished Eeny Meeny in Ohio, movie by Disney, and I did Samara Weaving. I was department head. Samara Weaving is a Australian, white Australian girl from Babylon and other shows, but I orchestrated her entire look. Her colorist does
Mm-hmm.
people like Adele and Charlize Theron, many people, but I sat with him for
Okay, your sound went away. We can't hear you. Your sound went, yeah, something happened with your sound.
I orchestrated her hairstyle for about 4 hours to
Okay.
make sure her hair color was right. The colorist, he does Adele and many different people in this industry, a lot of blondes. And but I had to be there to orchestrate the color that I wanted, as well as the pieces for the extension girl. I sat with her for 8 hours to make sure that those looks were right. So that's what department heads do.
Okay. All right.
Either we do the hair or we
Orchestra.
contract out to do
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
somebody to do
Awesome.
it.
Okay. So guys, y'all need to sign up for the class, beautyounderoneroof.com. And I also have it listed as film and production. So go sign up for those classes. Awesome information. Guys, this is things that can take your career to a whole nother level. Sometimes when opportunity presents itself, you need to be ready in that moment. It's not, you can't get ready. You need to already be ready to take advantage of some situations. And I think this is one of those times where you can get ready because the opportunity may present itself to you. So, Rhonda, I want to thank you
Yeah.
so very much. We'll
Yeah.
see you in less than 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, so excited about you coming in. Uh, and look, guys, again, sign up for the class. And they're not expensive. It's like $65. You guys got to get a wealth of information and get you guys going well into what you need
Exactly.
to know.
Yeah.
Yeah, navigate it. They're going to teach you how to navigate that plane as opposed
Yes.
to you having to figure it out.
Let
So
me
you
give
go
you
in
my
with an
my
advantage.
website. My website is www.beyondthecombs with an S, beyondthecombs.academy. Can somebody put that in the
Janetta, you typing?
Beyond the
Janetta, you got it?
Combs dot Academy and get my book. It's on my website on the home page at the bottom. And then when you come to the class, I'll sign it. But if you read it, it's a quick read, and a lot of that will give us time to you can ask certain questions. You can because you believe me, 50 Cent has a studio that he's building right there in Louisiana.
To
Okay.
Shreveport, yeah.
Um, and we have so much, like I said, 1923. Um, so many movies, TV shows that are going on in Texas, and people are able to work um, s- on many of those productions.
Okay. All right. Great. So thank you so very much.
Thank
Guys,
you.
again, Rhonda O'Neill, y'all follow her, uh, get buy the book and
Beyond the
sign up.
Combs, it's Beyond the Combs Academy Studio underscore. I was hacked.
Oh,
So
oh,
I don't have very many followers. So please,
oh,
everybody
Oh, y'all
follow.
okay.
follow,
Because I
everybody
kept
follow
looking
her.
at the picture and then I'm looking, I'm like, well, it says Beyond the Combs. And I went to your, yeah. So I'm glad you
It's
made the
it's Beyond the Combs Academy Studio underscore.
Okay.
Okay.
I
All
see
right.
new
Great.
page. Yeah, I
I'm
see at
so
yeah, the new
I'm planning on flying there either before I leave or before I get there or right after I come back to Northern California because you can't talk to Instagram over the phone. I'm gonna go and knock on their door and get this
I
straightened.
heard that.
Yes, but
All
thank
right.
you all.
Great.
Thank you all
So
so
thank you,
much.
Rhonda. Thank you so much
Thank
for being
you.
on, and we'll see you look on the 5th.
Yes,
Yeah.
I can't wait.
All
I
right.
can't
Thank you
wait. Sign
so
up,
very much.
everybody. Sign
Yeah, y'all
up.
All
sign up.
right. Yeah,
All
Okay.
great
right.
All right.
Thank
talk
Bye-bye.
you.
listening to your
Thank you.
stories on
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye. Okay, guys, that was great. We need y'all to sign up for those classes. Uh,
so
and Kay Shears, I want you to know, you talk about you signing up for classes. You got classes to teach. I you have classes to teach, baby girl. But yeah, this is something I think you would actually be great doing.